this week on the Last Intellectuals Are Really Stupid podcast, we are going to be examining the lyrics to 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton, discussing the Wisconsin Supreme Court voter suppression. And apparently, cops killed a 16-year-old for stealing a pizza. And Trump has extended an offer to the Bernie supporters, and we might take him up on it.
It's a pretty good deal.
It's a pretty good deal. But before we get into it, we have some dedications at the top of the hour here. Emphasis on the dead.
Mm-hmm.
So first we have the ChapoTrapHouse users who are, quote, still not voting for Biden. I want you to know that you are literal angry man children, and you are falling prey to the method that the Republicans have used in the inverse to gain power in the last 40 years. The Republicans have won by always voting R, regardless of whoever the person is, and voter suppression and other things like that. You know, Biden is a pile of shit. He's old and stupid. He probably shouldn't even be in charge of his own shoes. But
that's what we got.
Maybe, but to say that you're not going to vote for Biden before knowing the VP is a little immature. And frankly, the argument, I don't know if you know the actual argument, but I'll just get into it really quick. Generally, the argument against this approach is that if you are able to be Bernie or bust, aka having a candidate, like you're able to weather the storm of Trump for another 4 years, essentially, without any severe ramifications to you that Biden wouldn't prevent with his presidency, which is basically that you're like, you know, white, middle class, and you're not going to get, you know, disrupted via like DACA or like any kind of other minority status that's looked down upon in America, that you have the privilege to not vote for Biden because you're not going to be harmed by it. And I'm sure there are people who are going to be harmed if Biden doesn't get in, and they still won't vote for Biden. But that doesn't mean that like the electoral system is stupid. Everything's fucking dumb. The primary system is fucking dumb.
Yeah,
we'll get into that. But at the end of the day, you're going to do irreparable harm to the country for the next fucking 40 fucking years. When Ruth Bader Ginsburg, whatever the fuck her name is, dies, and we have a fucking packed Republican Supreme Court, we are actually going to lose Roe v. Wade. This is unfathomable. Like, women will become second-class citizens. I guarantee it. And on top of that, we have another dedication to a channel friend, that guy on the internet, a Hispanic boy of age 16, I believe, who produces conservative content. He's got a new channel. I know nobody's watching this anyway, but I'll pretend like somebody is. I think his new channel is That Zoomer, and he's got some funny editing, so I appreciate that. So I just wanted to make that dedication. Emphasis on the dead. So let's get into the news. Let's do some news shit.
Yeah, do some news. Shit. Yeah, you're on it. You're on it.
So, did you vote? Were you able to vote? How was your
I voted. It was fine. It was kind of wonky. So I tried to get an absentee ballot, but I don't understand really what the problem was, because they said they didn't have a license on registration. So
that was something I had to submit a picture of.
Yeah, so instead I'm like, okay, I'm not dealing with that, so I'm just gonna go do it in the station, which was fine. I mean,
did they have a plexiglass bulletproof glass in front of you?
Yep, there's a bulletproof glass in case I wanted to steal all the ballots. There was someone at the front. They only allowed 6 people in voting at a time, because this is I'm in a small community, so it's not like
wasn't that
it's
bad.
Not like in Milwaukee or Madison. I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, I think there were 2 other people voting when I was there.
Yep, that's the numbers I had.
Really?
Yeah, ours is at the library that's been closed. They had plexiglass shit. You know, people outside. The people who were outside were out there for drive-up voting.
Oh, interesting.
I came to understand later on, and I live in a fucking really old, like all the people around me are fucking probably old or living in apartments. So the only people I saw voting were old people. Like, I just don't.
Same.
Why the fuck? Just get out and vote, you lazy dumb fuckers.
I know.
Like, how is it so fucking hard? Like, for love of fucking Christ, just get your dumb ass out and vote.
it does something, man. Like,
Yeah,
come
it's
on.
just yeah. So yeah, we walked down there and voted. There was like no lines, and we went at like a time when it should have been busy because we went at like after like 5:45,
Mm-hmm.
and there was nobody there.
Well,
Uh,
so I wonder if it's, well, I mean, we're gonna get into that too, like kind of voter suppression stuff, but I just wonder if it's people are afraid of, the Rona, so they're not gonna
oh
go
yeah, I mean if
out
you're old, why
in
the fuck would you
public.
go out?
Yeah.
Like that's why like a
That's
mail
the
that's why a
the
mail ballot
payouts.
is important,
Right.
and even that is a risk too. But yeah, I mean, uh, I love that I got to vote for Bernie. Like what 26 states don't even get to have a
I
say
know. Yeah,
in
I don't
the nomination process.
it's a really weird
Like that's fucking
way of
dumb.
doing it.
I saw some great shit takes on Reddit that were like, you know, you don't have to like you don't have to get to decide who the nominee is. Like you
What?
should be
Like
happy
in a
with that.
dictatorship?
Yeah. And then another shit take I read was because they were like, oh, in other countries, they don't even decide, like you don't get to vote for the nominee, the party chooses. And it's like,
Well, we're not
okay,
in those countries.
so like this is like, oh, because other places have it shittier, we should accept a
Right.
shit. Like
Right.
no,
Yeah.
that's not how
Yeah.
improvement works. You
Yeah.
criticize when there are problems and you change them. That's how improvement works. So another shit take was, well, the reason they stretch it out is because otherwise all the candidates would have to run 50 campaigns in every state all at once, and it would be very expensive. And it's like, well, you don't need to do that. We have um, lots of media.
Mm-hmm.
We have access to public broadcasting. There are ways to present who the candidates are and vote on them that would take care of any kind of like, how am I
Right.
going to do all these campaign bullshit things?
Right. Right.
The reality is that a white minority gets to set the stage for who's going to fucking be the nominee,
Yeah,
as the
isn't it
case with
weird?
how the electoral college works.
Yeah.
Because Iowa, I think, is like the first state, and it's like mostly
Mm-hmm.
white. And
Mm-hmm.
sure, they spun it towards Buttigieg, but eventually, it came back towards Biden. But there's 26 states that didn't even get to have a say.
Right.
Like, how can you justify a system that takes 26 states worth of people out of, saying,
Taking their voice away. Yeah.
yeah, well, saying anything? And it's like with electoral college, like the reason electoral college privileges white voters, rural white voters over other states, is that most states that have, like, everyone has like a set amount of like electoral college voters, and then you get more for like population or whatever, right? But like it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't scale up with how much more population you get. So like a state has like what, like one of the smallest states that's like predominantly white gets more electoral college votes per capita than California, which is like one of the most diverse states. So like the
Yeah.
electoral college system inherently privileges white rural people essentially because it gives more weight to their vote than anyone living in a more diverse area, which is
Right.
usually places that
More pop.
have
Yeah.
higher voting power in terms of the absolute amount of votes that they get,
Right.
but
Right.
the
But
power
then it
within
gets
the
like
individual voters
washed away
is
once you get up
smaller.
to that next
Yeah,
level. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But what happened in Wisconsin was every person. I mean, all I would assume the judge, all the judges that decided that the one. So the history of it, I think, is Tony Evers, the governor of Wisconsin, wanted to
Mm-hmm.
delay the
Mm-hmm.
primary.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
that went to court. That lost. Then it went to the Supreme Court, I believe, and the Supreme Court made a few extra decisions. So one of the other things was that they were going to do absentee ballots, but absentee ballots, you know, they don't want to go outside. Polling offices or polling places, locations are closed.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee has like what 183, and they were down to 5. Like that
So
is fuck. I
insane.
mean,
How
that
the
is
fuck?
democracy dies.
Oh my
Like
God. Like, people already don't want to. I mean, but God, hey, God bless all those people who were like lining up miles down the
yeah,
down blocks in
some of
like
those
Milwaukee
videos
and
are
Madison.
just
That's
disgusting.
crazy.
And you're going out there in fucking Milwaukee
Which
to
is
go
already
and
kind of
vote.
terrifying. Yeah, yeah.
Like holy fuck. And it was raining too. It was not
Hey,
it was not
I
a good
mean,
time.
It's the death gasp of democracy. Like
Yeah, and
I need to do this.
so
Isn't this my
essentially,
civic duty?
yeah, so essentially, like the Republican Supreme Court were like, we're not going to have a delay. You're going to vote and you're going to die. Also, absentee ballots, yeah, you can have them, but if they come in after the date, after the primary day, they're not
Hmm.
going to count. I got my
What the fuck?
I got my absentee ballot a day after the primary day.
That's so
How the
funny.
fuck am I supposed to send that
Yeah,
back in
yeah,
time?
yeah. It's
Literally not possible.
like set up to fail.
Yeah. So and it's voter suppression, and it's, I think it's justifiable, like the one time where I think the state should kill people for breaking a law, because this is treason. This is
Oh
literal
god.
treason.
What who's
Because we're voting on local officials, and we're
Mhm,
voting on the primary candidates,
mhm.
which is an and whether oh and a Supreme Court judge.
Yeah.
And this is why it's fucking bad, is that all the places that are left leaning are Madison and Milwaukee.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
you're a dumb fucking retard, you probably live not in those places. And now you're not dumb for living there, but more often than not, if you live in a rural area, you're probably Republican, which would qualify you as a dumb fucking retard.
Hmm.
So the Republican Supreme Court has made a decision that benefits them to ensure that they can get their justice on the bench to ensure absolute control over the government. Because really, what it comes, I mean, Supreme Court is what has the long lasting power. I mean,
Right.
this is like, I don't know how these people are not being shot and killed. Like, they absolutely deserve to die. This
Yeah,
is
I don't know.
fucking terrible. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is, like, why are Republicans just so evil so blatantly, and then somehow dumb fucks vote for them?
You see, that's what I don't get.
Like, even if you're a Republican, how can you not be like, wow, I mean, people should have the right to vote, right? How are you not against this?
Well, it's just so sad how the Republican Party has changed throughout the years, you know? Because I mean, Republicans didn't used to be what it is now. Like, uh, my little bit of history knowledge, I would say the last good Republican was probably Theodore Roosevelt. I can't
Teddy
think of
Roosevelt.
any. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, that's, I
he
mean, but
he
like
busted
the
the
Republican that you're
banks. He
talking about
busted the
is,
unions. That's a totally different kind of
it's a
Republican.
different Republican Party.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It like
Like, that's not even, yeah, because like the Republican
it
Party reformed after the New
changed.
Deal,
Yeah.
because like they had
Oh,
to.
okay. Right.
So like the Republican Party that,
It's Republican by name, but
yeah,
not
in name
like
alone,
literal alliance. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So because like the Republican Party that exists now is modus operandi from, as we come to expect with, the Southern strategy and Lee
Right.
Atwater. It's
Right.
the same shit. It's this, you know,
Right.
hinge yourself on niche social issues, and then, you know, wedge in racism when you can. And they might not explicitly know what the racism is, but
They
they
get the
understand the
message, the
effects,
idea.
because
Yeah.
it's woven into, on a societal level, of poor leech, and you make all these presumptions because that's what our culture tells us.
Hmm.
And then the Republican Party uses that presumption of understanding what these things are, so that when they're like, oh, we're going to take away benefits, oh, I already know poor people don't contribute, they just take. So if we take away their benefits, then we get rid of the leeches. That's like, the societal aspect and the government aspect working together, so that the person already like understands without having to be like so explicit. It's a, I don't know, Republican Party is somehow incredibly smart at being really dumb sometimes, all
Well,
for the sake of just getting a few more bucks in their bank.
that's the saddest part. It's like, what's it for? I don't.
Money,
Power.
control. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, it's really what it seems to be. I mean, they don't have any fucking morals. Like, how many times do you see,
And it's so
like,
funny because people pretend that it's the party of morals. Like
yeah, I
people think
mean,
that like
when have they ever
well,
given a fuck about anything?
like the grunts, let's say, of like a lot of Republican thinking, like like the average person, I feel like they think they're very moralistic and like kind of holier than thou, but like the people you've aligned yourself with are not that way at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think the terminology that gets thrown around is like leftists or liberals are moral relativists, and right Republicans are like moral objectivists that like they believe certain moral things. And once again, this is just almost all Republican group forming is based around an evangelical core, which is just a manipulation of, you know, religious folk that just don't know any better. Like they're just really
Mm-hmm.
fucking stupid. Because
Mm-hmm.
like if you really like, there's no way you can sit down and read about Jesus and think,
I
"Yup,
know.
Trump is one and the same." Like what
I
in the
know.
absolute fuck?
Oh my God,
Like
that gets me
like
too.
use
That's
your
so
fucking head. There's no
funny,
fucking
man.
way. When the fuck did Jesus say kill fags? Like excuse me? Like, I'm pretty sure he said things to not cast judgment or criticism on people, and,
Well,
and, and in fact to take them in a loving manner, to offer them redemption. And I
yeah.
don't. I mean, some there are. I mean, when I'm talking about evangelicals, I'm talking about the dumb fucks that like are hardcore staunch Republicans and like and homophobes and just like hate filled people. There are a lot of like religious groups that do uphold to these ideals, but the
Mm-hmm.
evangelicals are not one of them. They're fucking
Right.
idiots. Um, why don't we move on to the 1 star movie review? This is a great time for
Okay,
that
good.
because I've been looking
Good.
at them. I've just been laughing inside. So I'll read the reviews, and you got and follower's got to guess the movie. So
Great.
1 star, horrible dub, nowhere near the VHS copy I had. Disappointing. So
Okay.
it's
Well,
there's a
it's a
dub.
dub, yeah.
Okay, so you're learning. You're learning. Region B only. Make sure you're in Region B for this disc. We can't play it in America. Oh,
Oh.
here we
Uh,
go. This guy presumably watched the movie. It sucked. I kiv in America. He meant to say I live.
Live, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
kive, I think it would
I
actually
kai.
be.
Sorry. I kaive. I kaive in America. Here we go. We got Feuerbach. Needlessly long, slow, boring. I bought this because people said it's an excellent cyberpunk movie. There is nothing cyberpunk about this. It's several hours of characters yelling other characters' names and walking teddy bears. Makes no sense. Forced myself to watch it to the end to give it a chance, but wish I had turned it off half hour into it. Wouldn't have missed anything if I had. Two
Okay,
people
well,
found that one helpful.
I feel like I'm getting a feel for the
So it's teddy
movie.
bears, lots of yelling.
Yeah, yelling teddy bears. Is it? It's foreign, obviously. Is it Japanese?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Is it live action? Can I have that?
Live action. What is live action?
Well, is it people or is it
Oh, you mean like those people? Oh
is it
no, this is
animated
not.
or is it
It's an anime.
okay? Okay.
Okay. There's just so
Walking,
many reviews complaining about
walking teddy
not
bears.
working in their fucking VHS player.
I don't.
Do not buy this if you're American. He spelled European. He spelled European as European. European Blu-ray.
If you're a European, if you are from Europa.
Oh, here we go. No, this guy wrote the fucking Iliad. I'm gonna wait against the current and give this a really negative review. Having heard about this movie for years without getting a chance to see anything but a few clips, I rushed home from the video rental store where I found this guy he didn't even buy the
So
product. Now,
funny.
mind you, I'm getting
Yeah,
reviews for a product. This isn't something you can watch on Prime Video. So
that's
he
so.
he went and watched the movie so that he could review a product he didn't buy.
You now that begs the question, like, do you think he watched the movie and then did the review, or like he was just scrolling through Amazon and saw that it was on there and he's like, oh no, I gotta warn people about this shit.
I think he
Like you saw like a
uses
year ago.
I think he uses Amazon as his own personal movie review blog.
His outlets, yeah.
Yeah. So, what does he even say? He had great expectations. The animation was every bit as impressive as he expected. The story itself was worse than just nonsense. It was capital dull. Well, this guy was coining
Oh.
Trump before Trump even came into power. This review is from 2001.
He's proto-Trump.
I found it boring and vacuous as the Americanized version of Godzilla. The movie is taken up by an monstrosity running rampant through Tokyo. Is that true? I don't.
Isn't it? But I thought you said it was Japanese. How is it Americanized Godzilla? Or
Well,
he's saying
yeah, I think he
it's
meant because it
like
was boring.
Americanized Godzilla. Okay.
Oh, yeah, his review. He's just saying some dumb shit. It's boring.
He is I am very smart. Uh
Yeah, he's just referencing other things.
embodied. He's like, I can talk smart too.
Translating shouldn't be this hard. How is it possible to make two translations of the same damn script nearly unrecognizable?
Because it's
I
fucking Japanese, you idiot. It's a language that has a totally different way of operating
oh,
than the one translating
this guy
to.
doesn't even like the animation. Now, it's film, people saying it looks good, but this guy, no, sorry, but no, not even for the time in which it was made. The motion is not smooth between poses, and a lot of the film is just that poses, held, mouths agape, and stills panned over. That ain't animation. The story is too condensed and too unrewarding. The English voice acting is the worst, and the script itself is a lot of names screamed back and forth. Yuck.
I mean, that is what a lot of anime is, though.
Yeah.
That's how they keep the production costs so low, because they can just do like still images, or it's like a GIF where they just like the mouth has like two animations, either open or closed, and they talk over it.
Pretty much. I guess
Um,
everyone just hates the dub,
or it doesn't work for
or it
them.
doesn't
It
work.
doesn't work in their VCR.
And
They tried putting the DVD in their VCR, it wouldn't play it.
yeah, that's what I'm understanding is that this is a DVD, but it's a Blu-ray DVD.
Oh, so
Um,
maybe they bought the Blu-ray,
and
but
they're
they
trying to
put it
put it in
in
their
their Blu-ray
VHS player. It's not
player.
working. And so I guess the keys are good animation, older film, anime. What do you got?
Okay, and you said it's like a Godzilla like with a monster
Yeah, some guy
attacking
equated it to that it was
Tokyo.
similar to Godzilla.
It's like a monster attacking Tokyo. I
Yeah, there's a
mean,
monster going through town. Nuclear arm. It has nuclear elements, I guess.
I mean, my guess would be like Evangelion, but I doubt that's a
No, this is before that.
okay. I don't think I've seen it then.
Oh
Is
my god.
it what is it?
It's
Just say.
Akira. Have you seen Akira?
Oh, no, I haven't
Oh, I
actually.
was just about to ask. I was like, have you seen it? I feel like this is just one of
No,
the
no,
movies that you would, if you
I
saw
I
it, that you would guess. But
yeah,
if you
yeah.
haven't seen it, there's no fucking way.
Yeah, no, that's one that is on my list of movies like I know I should see because like everyone who's ever seen it tells me it's really good.
Uh,
Like I've seen, I don't know, I've
Story
seen
is
clips
pretty
of it.
shit. But the animation's cool.
That's what I've seen. Yeah, I've seen clips and just like, yeah, it's really good animation. Especially for its, I mean, contrary to what some of these one-star reviews, like first time especially, because wasn't it early 90s, 80s,
Some
or is
guy
that
said something about
2000?
the 80s. I have no idea.
Let's see.
Let's see. Akira movie. 1988?
It's 88,
88.
yeah.
Yeah, this is probably
That's pretty
real
good.
good looking. It's just that the things that happen in Akira disgust me. Akira has some of the things that I hate, which is like,
Isn't he like a kid? Like he's kind of like tortured.
have you ever heard of I gotta look this up quick. Tetsuo the Iron Man. It's a Japanese film. It's like this. So I think it's like Tetsuo the Iron Man came out a year after this. Oh, that's crazy. Anyway, there's a kind of series of films in Japan that use body horror and like
Yeah.
body modification, but like in a gross way.
Hmm.
Um, I've seen Tokyo Gore Police is the most probably approachable one. It's just it's really gross. Tetsuo the Iron Man is like a guy just gets like all these metal augments on his body and looks fucked up and weird.
Hmm.
But Akira is kind of like that, where it's like this like guy's guts come out and there's like a big gut monster and it's just like organs and stuff. It's just really gross. Like I
Right.
don't know, it just grosses me out. Like, and I don't mind disturbing imagery, but like I just like there's just like the theme just like drops away at some point. Like there could be a really strong theme, but like where the fuck did it go? Because it's supposed to like there's like I guess in it like it stops before like the movie namesake returns from Magic Land. But apparently the manga goes on and there's like USS nuke bombs and some and like the main characters are like hanging out as like kings of like the West. It's fucking dumb.
Are you talking
Like,
about Akira? Or are you talking
yeah,
about the metal? Okay, yeah. Well, because he has
it's fucking
superpowers or something, right? Like he's like this like
kind of. It's
king. It seems
it,
like
it
at
would be
some
like
point.
their superpowers, but like with the worst drawbacks ever.
Okay, yeah,
It's I don't know if you watch the movie, it'd make more sense,
yeah,
but it's just
yeah.
fucking gross in a lot of ways, and the animation's cool, the story's really lacking. Okay, what's else up for the news? What do we want to get into? So we already talked about the
Okay, we talked.
ChapoTrapHouse
Did we
guys.
talk about Sanders is the
Oh yeah,
Trump
so
thing? Did we talk
Trump.
about that?
So Sanders dropped out, and just a day after we get to vote for him, isn't that fun?
Yeah,
I
I
should have
know.
fucking voted for Pete Buttigieg. Did your ballot have all the
It had
DNC
everyone,
people?
literally everybody. Yeah,
Why?
I don't
Why would
know.
they like?
I was confused about that too. I mean, do you like tinfoil hat on? Do you think that's like on purpose too, like just to further dilute the vote,
Well, okay, so like I'm pretty sure. So what
or
it
is it just they had the
actually
same
is
ballot
that
from the beginning till now?
like they could still get delegates, and then they bring those delegates to the convention, but Bernie gave his delegates to Hillary to have a united convention
Right, right.
because I don't think either of them had enough to like technically win.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe that's why they're on there. But like if they drop out and like back somebody else,
Yeah,
it's kind of like why are they there?
right. Yeah,
It does feel a little bit conspiratorial because like yeah, like a lot of people could waste their votes on that because like if they're not going to
because
win
they're
any
just
delegates,
dumb.
then like
Yeah.
yeah, you're just but then they're
No
not
one,
paying
they don't
attention.
pay
So like
attention. Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, I heard that
if
name.
anything, it's a
That's
safeguard,
it.
you know.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So Donald Trump has extended an offer and some criticisms uh, over to the Bernie camp, and what are they?
Okay,
What has he
well,
told us?
I'll just read the tweet to you. The commander in chief tweeted to us in a fireside tweet saying,
Commander in Queef.
"Commander and Emperor, God Emperor, Bernie Sanders is out. Thank you to Elizabeth Warren. If not for her, Bernie would have won almost every state in Super Tuesday." This ends. I can't do. I hate the impression. This ends just like the Democrats and the DNC wanted. Same as the crooked Hillary fiasco. The Bernie people should come to the Republican Party. Trade.
So what do you think Trump is going to offer to make the trade?
To make this, I think the trade is you come over to my side. There, I traded you.
Oh, so
There,
we're
I took the
like
trade.
we're
He's
like sports ball players.
like the ultimate swindler. Well, no, it's the kind of trade where you give something. He just
Oh, so it's like
wanted to-
slavery. Like we're just
yeah.
going over to America.
So you can get all that. You can give your excellent labor, and we'll give you housing, I guess.
Oh,
Kind
okay.
of.
That sounds fair. I like the first part where he's like Elizabeth Warren. Thank you. He thanks Elizabeth Warren
For like
not for like
diluting the
not
vote, I
backing him so that
guess.
because like Trump's like oh yeah like Bernie would have won, and which I don't know if
It's
that's
always
true.
I feel like
Yeah.
he's trying to play like
But he's
5D
but he's
chess.
but he's doing a good job
Doesn't-
sowing dissent because there's a lot of Bernie people that feel that
Right.
way.
Right.
So like if you're a ChapoTrapHouse person and you're like seeing that and you're like, oh man, like that's what I think. Like it's
right.
time to self-reflect. Okay?
It's
You
time to-
can't like re-predict new futures based on changing the past.
Yeah.
It's like you just don't know. That's just a fact of life. There's just certain avenues
All right.
of certain possibilities you'll just never know. We're not living a Mr. Nobody scenario. But like I mean, I what would I if it doesn't even there's nothing that Trump has to trade because there's nothing the Republican Congress would push through that Bernie supporters
know.
would support.
I know. Yeah.
And like Bernie supporters are more anti-Trump than any group. Like there's no fucking way.
I feel like he just put the word trade in there because that's like part of his brand.
Yeah, I mean he's
He has to
he's
put
trying
that
to be
in
a
there.
businessman. And he's
Good.
he's also shooting his shot. He's like, "Oh, you want to trade
Yeah,
pigs?"
he is.
But it's like, I mean, even if it was like, oh, we're gonna do healthcare for all and UBI, like let's say like that's what he like that's what he comes out
Yeah,
with saying,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, there's no way the Republican Congress is passing that.
Well, he did say on the campaign trail that he would go for it, and a lot of Republicans wouldn't like it, but that's what he's gonna do.
Yeah,
Do you
and
remember that?
I remember that. I bring that up all the time.
It's so funny.
Like
He's such a
he,
grifter, dude. He just literally all he does is he's used to a world where people don't look back at what he said previously. And he's like a dog. He lives in the moment.
yeah, he just keeps
Only.
shitting out new stuff for people, for like
Yeah.
the media
For
to
the
like,
for the crowd
latch
that is there.
onto and
Yeah.
like give a shit
Yeah.
about. And it's just like,
Well, you got receipts,
like
dude.
when, like that whole moment of like the Republican, the Supreme Court really is what did all the heavy lifting, and when it came to fucking over American healthcare, the Congress was not able to get that bill off the ground because mostly due to McCain coming back from the dead to vote it down. But like that whole era was so fucking insane because like we have Trump in Australia where they have universal healthcare, from my understanding, and he's praising their leader, saying, "You guys have very good healthcare, and we're gonna have really good healthcare. We're gonna have the best healthcare in America." And then, but he stops talking about universal coverage and that kind of stuff at this point because he's president now. He doesn't need to make promises. And then the bill that Paul Ryan is trying to put through is like, rape is a pre-existing condition, abortion is a pre-existing condition, having a child is a pre-existing condition, being a woman is a pre-existing condition, looking at fucking Paul Ryan and not vomiting is a pre-existing condition. Like, they want to pack so much fucked up shit in it, and they want that to be the new healthcare bill. And I mean, they just ended up being dead in the water because McCain. But the Republican mostly controlled Supreme Court got a lot of necessary shit done for the Republican Party, in that they got the mandate taken out, and if the mandate's taken out, then they can challenge the point of the act itself, and if that gets struck down, then American healthcare is going to go back to some truly nightmare times.
I mean, we're already like halfway there, I feel.
It's pretty
So
bad. I mean, like, to like this, and this is why ChapoTrapHouse users are fucking stupid, is that to think that you can weather, like, let's just use the ACA for example. Let's say like if you can weather the storm of losing the ACA, like, but like you don't, but like, and you're like a Democrat, you have to vote for Biden because there are people who are going to lose the ACA that it's going to demonstrably affect their lives, namely black children. The black infant mortality rate before the ACA is the highest in the country. It's 16 per thousand.
Wow.
7 years after the ACA, it drops, I think, to like 13. Or it has the biggest drop of any ethnic group, racial group in America. It has to be big, and because the ACA had a lot of extra money for what the fuck is Planned Parenthood and shit. I believe that was involved with it. Like, we see the effect of providing prenatal care to women. It lowers abortions.
I know,
If Republicans care about children's lives other than abortion, they need to make sure that these children, when they're being born, are living and not dying. Because the healthcare that we had before was getting more babies killed, not less. Like, that's just the fucking reality. So if we lose the ACA, more minority children are going to fucking die than if we had it. That's a fucking fact. Like,
it's also really fucked up how people who are typically anti-abortion are also the people who are like don't believe in any kind of sexual education.
yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's that whole package of
it's
just
a
like
cycle.
ignorance.
It's this awful cycle. Like, of course, people are gonna get pregnant more, and then I mean, and the argument that abortion is a form of contraception, I think, is widely overblown in some
like
some
nobody. I
circles.
mean, that's like, yeah, that's
Nobody
like
thinks
something
that
somebody
way.
says that like is
If they don't
that's
think,
that's MGTOW philosophy. That's the fucking incel tier shit.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's no fucking way. And they'll always bring up some like, oh yeah, I knew a girl, or I heard about a girl. She's like, oh, she got pregnant. She's had like 3 abortions, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's your anecdote. But
Yeah.
having an abortion is a
It
physically
takes such
taxing experience, is an
yeah.
emotionally taxing experience, and you're fucking stupid to
Yeah.
think that like somebody's just willy-nilly having a ton of
I know.
abortions.
I
Like,
know. Oh man.
so fucking dumb.
Oh,
I don't
that
know. I just can't
drives
get
me
over how
nuts,
fucking
dude.
dumb. Like, if you're a Republican, like, I just have no respect for you. You just are. I honestly think I owe less moral respect for you as a human being because you're voting for people that are doing demonstrable harm to people that you should care
You
about.
care about, yeah.
Like at the end of the day, all people really give a shit about the same thing. They want to have money for their family. They want to have people that they care about close to them that are related. They want to have friends and they want to take care of themselves. At the end of the day, that's what all people care about. And then how you get to that is like we're going down the road and then Republicans are like, I want to go into the desert where there's nothing for me. But if my corpse dies out there, I can bleed into the ground and some snakes can soak up my blood and somehow that's worth it. But like that's not what they're sold. What they're sold is that there's an oasis out there, but they never get to the oasis because the people who get to the oasis are the people who have jets and all the fucking Republicans that are going
Right.
out there are walking on foot.
Yeah.
Like that's the Republican Party. It's like you can't get to the level that these other people are at. They started off better than you. Like
I feel like you need to make the distinction too between like I don't want to say like the average Republican, but like the poor Republican. You know, like the that red-blooded American working class individual that like just loves their country and their family and whatever, and
no,
they
I mean
think
those
that
that's not a Republican. That's a regular human being. Like
no, that's what I'm
anybody,
saying. But there are people who
I mean,
will
there are like regular folk
no,
that vote
but that's
Republican.
what I'm saying. Like that's where when you say things like that, it sounds very divisive because there are people who consider themselves Republican and they think that you're talking about them.
Well, yeah, and they're
And
stupid.
I know, well, I don't know. That's how I see it. Because like there are like people
I
who are
mean, if
like
you vote
unadaptable.
Republican, you're stupid and probably don't deserve life. I don't like, and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
if you're a poor person and you're Republican, then you're just fucking stupid.
yeah.
Like
Well, I
there's
think
just like,
they need to
and you
educate
should
themselves.
work as hard as possible to unstupid yourself. Like I don't like I just have no respect for any Republican, and in person, the only Republicans I have respect for are the soldiers who get conned into going to wars.
Yeah,
Those are the only ones
yeah.
because they're sacrificing their lives for something that they're totally conned into that
I
doesn't
mean,
need to
that's
happen.
that's the saddest thing. I mean, that's a whole episode in itself is like
Yeah.
military service. That's a strange thing, man.
Yeah, but like if you're like a regular working person and you're voting Republican, you're voting against your own self-interest and you're just
Yeah,
dumb.
exactly.
And
That's
obviously
you're
like, I think for most
it's
people
sad.
being called dumb like doesn't win over hearts and minds. But I don't really care. I mean, I think I can effectively win over hearts and minds by just insulting people and then being smarter than them cuz like they just
Uh,
you're just not going to win.
yeah, yeah.
Like
I get the approach.
because
Yeah,
if you emotionally damage somebody enough,
yeah.
they will dwell on it.
You're talking like breaking them,
Yeah, like if you emotionally
mentally.
damage somebody enough, they will dwell on it so fucking
Oh
much
my God, it's
that
like so.
like they will have to address in their brain at some point the
You know.
contradictions that they hold.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't know. It's like this is my outlet, my political outlet of fucking up
Yeah.
Republicans.
Yeah. Well, I
I
mean,
wish we had
I agree
Republican
with you there.
commentators that like were
I know
mad.
that's the thing. Like,
That would be the best part.
I mean, that's why I feel like I have to play like sometimes devil's advocate, because like you need that. And I mean, I probably don't speak well for any Republican because I don't have that line of thinking, but
Like they're
I
just
try to give
everything that they
the
believe is just founded on lies. Like I've never I like and I like I've done so much work. I don't consume a lot of leftist media. I primarily
Mhm.
consume like talks from the Hoover Institution. I've watched countless PragerU videos. I've watched fucking like one Crowder video because he's fucking insufferable.
Yeah,
But like
that's
I've
too
watched
far.
Thomas Sowell. I've fucking watched Milton Friedman
Well,
like
see,
do these
that's
hour-long talks. Like I've read about stock buybacks and shit. And I'm pretty much for stock buybacks except for the few clauses. But nothing like there's just a complete incongruity between what the average Republican voter thinks is important and
right.
then what they cite as like inspirations
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like what in the fuck
Yeah.
It's like, and then
Yeah.
a lot of the time it's like a one issue thing, and it's like,
Yes.
well, you can't. If
Yes.
that's the one thing you care about, well, then you're just dumb.
Yeah.
Like you're just like basically telling me that like you don't have the mental energy to
To care about
expend.
anything else.
Yeah, and if that's the case, well then why should I owe you moral respect to treat you nice when you are putting up a wall around giving a shit about anything else?
Right.
Like like the God Emperor, the actual God Emperor Leto Atreides II said, "I'm gonna shove your face in the things that you don't like." Yeah, like that's my philosophy. It's my Dota 2 philosophy. You want to start some
Yeah.
shit? Let's start some shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of some shit, working 9 to 5. That's some shit.
That's,
Thank
that's
you,
a good
Dolly
segue.
Parton.
That's a good segue.
Uh,
Do you want me to preface it at all, or do you want to just
uh,
get right into the meat and potatoes of it?
why don't you give
It's
me
a
a
good
little
song. It has
like a
good
little
lyrics.
explanation? I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Okay. I don't want to like prime it too much, but so this is from it's kind of a goofy musical about women who like work in this office and then they basically like kidnap their boss and like tie him up, hide him in her garage, and then they're just like running the workplace,
This sounds
pretending
like
that
a
he's.
socialist.
It is no, that's the entire movie. Is it's very what word am I looking for? This is like the theme song to it. It's like a worker's anthem.
Okay.
It's a really good, because then they're literally like undoing all the bullshit kind of like corporate
All the dumb corporate rules that make
laws
everyone's lives miserable.
rule. Yeah, they're undoing it. Like, yeah, you can put pictures of your kids on your desk. Like, who gives a shit? And like, you can oh yeah, take some time off. It's okay. Like everything's getting done. And then like eventually like the guy who's above their boss's boss visits the place and he's like, oh, I just want to see Jim Ding Dong because he's doing such a great job. Stocks are rising 100% because I just want to see what he's doing right. And then it's obviously because they're like it's the workers running the place. It's really funny,
Wow, this sounds great.
but the this is like the theme song, I guess you could call it, and it's still like you get a lot of that feeling just in the lyrics of this. So that's why I picked this song
Well, that
for.
was great. I didn't know about the play relation. I didn't know any Dolly Parton did anything with anything other than singing songs. But
Yeah,
yeah, that sounds great. Okay, let's see what the lyrics are here. Let's
yeah,
analyze these lyrics. So
yeah, yeah. Get into it.
tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition, yawn and stretch and try to come to life, jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the street, the traffic starts jumping with folks like me on the job from 9 to 5. That's a pretty good intro, and that's basically
Thank
how most people wake up, right? Where you
you.
get up,
Right.
you gotta grab your coffee, you gotta get in the
Yeah.
shower, and you gotta get off to
Yep.
work,
Yep. Yep.
because
Hum
having a
yourself.
having a 3 day work week or anything like that. Now you gotta squeeze as much fucking work out of you as
Yeah.
possible. You fucking peasant.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we get on here? Working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Barely getting by. It's all taken into account. Oh no. They use your mind and they never give you credit. True. True. You know the amount of intellectual theft that goes on?
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Do
I've
they?
never had a manager come up with a solution to anything.
It's
It's
always
always
like
somebody who
figure it
has
out.
a
This is the.
problem
Yeah.
who deals with
Yeah.
the problem that comes up with a
Yeah.
solution.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the manager gathers everyone around and says that like, oh, this is what the solution's gonna be. So and so brought it up, and it's
Yeah.
like, so why do we need you to
Why are
facilitate
you
this?
here?
Just because
Yeah.
we need arbitrary hierarchy? Like fuck off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
there is a point to having some hierarchy in terms of like making some decisions, but like
Do
the
the
way
corporate? Oh no, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
but like the way most power is like doled out at workplaces is like utterly arbitrary and a lot of the time like ineffectual. Like I've worked with so many weak
Yeah.
managers and bosses that
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
are just total beta cucks.
Or they get in the way. That's even worse. Like I'd rather if they're a beta cuck and they're just kind of like doing their own thing or whatever. That's one thing. But if they're like trying to assert power and they just
Oh
suck
god.
at what they're doing, just so making life off miserable for the workers. I like the place that I worked at is like it's I think it's like a family owned corporation. I don't know if it's public or not, but it's just really their policies are very interesting because like sometimes they do have like pretty like I guess you could call it left ideals. I guess maybe depending on where you work. If you're working in like kind of the hospitality side, it can be touch and go. And then uh there's like a factory on like the other side of the road. You make like toilets. It's like worldwide.
I thought you were saying
But they
World
also
War.
it's worse than the World War sometimes. Um, but like then they try to have like initiatives where it's like they're gonna and actually when I think about it, it's actually really stupid because they want to have like zero waste by 20 something or another. Like that's
Like
impossible. Like they're gonna be recycling everything. It's literally like you're trying to build a utopia.
zero weight. Yeah, that doesn't sound.
Like you have to recycle everything, and we're gonna compost all garbage as compostable. It's like I mean, yeah, that looks good on paper, I guess, but that's not how the world is set up, unfortunately.
Yeah, like depending on what your products are, like that could be like really costly. And like I'm not usually somebody who gives a fuck about the cost in saving the planet, but it's kind of like the the paperclip the paperclip problem. If you've heard about this, uh, the paperclip problem is like there's a robot that's designed to maximize the production of paperclips,
Hmm.
and eventually it like just destroys all life because it's doing its function. It's
Oh, right,
maximizing
right, yeah,
the production of paper clips. And if
yeah,
it could turn all of the earth into the greatest paper clip production possible, it would have to
yeah,
move all the humans out of the way, you know?
right, right, right,
So
yeah.
like that,
The analogy
trying to
is
have zero waste
corporations.
if it's not possible is something that like, great intentions, but you might be doing more harm than good actually, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it just doesn't seem that it's something that's like attainable. But then I don't know. Sometimes they treat workers pretty well, but usually it's pretty god awful. Oh no, but what I was getting at is like it's middleman upon middleman. Like there's a middleman between the middleman.
Oh
Like
God.
most of these positions like don't need to exist, but they're just here because like they rubbed enough elbows and
Yeah, I
blew
think
enough bosses.
this is my take on excess middle management is that I think that there's so much middle management because they refuse to hire enough lower workers, like
Oh,
frontline
for sure.
people,
Yeah, yeah,
so they need to have like 8 people who are like harassing workers all day to like
yeah,
pick up
yeah.
extra hours and shit.
Yeah, and like they try to get as much out of as little as they can, which just seems like the most backwards way of doing things.
Yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, you come in and you want to make that extra money, and it's like, I'm
No.
not like I'm getting overtime, like
Yeah,
still making minimum wage.
yeah, that's miserable.
I saw one guy's YouTube thing. I think he's like a guy who reviews books. He says he has 10 years experience working minimum wage jobs. And it's like,
What the?
now I'm not a bootstrapper, but there's a story there. Like, how
Yeah.
the fuck there's like you
Oh, for
gotta just
sure. You want
there's
that.
something
Just do
going
not
on
care.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause like
You're doing meth on the job or
there's
something.
something going on. There's no way you're like not at the same job anyway. Then you're just fucking stupid. You need to like quit or something, find another job.
Well, no, he just gets fired every time. He's like, "Oh man, why do they keep firing me? I just
Oh
come
yeah,
in, my
maybe that's part of the
eyes
thing.
hella dilated." You just said, you just said 10 years on doing minimum wage. You didn't say the same job.
Yeah, I was kind of confused. I don't know. I want the story, but that's all I could take him on is what he said.
Release the story. Hashtag release the story.
Yeah, hopefully. What are the next lyrics here? They just use your money up. Okay, it's enough to drive you crazy if you let it. 9 to 5 for service and devotion. You
Motion.
would think that I would deserve a fat promotion. I want to move ahead, but the boss won't seem to let me. I swear sometimes that man is out to get me. Yeah, which could be true. I mean, if you're trying to like well, it depends on the circumstance. If the boss has somebody else that's also taking notice of you, then it's like, oh no, we gotta get him out of here because I can't be shown up. But if the boss is the only eyes there, then they don't give a fuck, you know.
Well, I think they mean out to get you, like, want to fuck you over.
Oh yeah, that too. Well, I mean, well, what the lyrics say earlier is like, oh, like they deserve a promotion for how hard of a worker they are,
Mm-hmm.
but like I was just thinking of like a context in which that would be like the case.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, how that would actually happen.
Yeah, how that would actually work out. They let you dream just to watch them shatter. Oh gosh, it's just a step on the boss man's ladder. But you got dreams he'll never take away. You're in the same boat with a lot of your friends, waiting for the day your ship will come in and the tide's gonna turn. It's all gonna roll your way. And then I
The
think the lyrics
revolution.
repeat.
That's a yeah,
Or
the
no, there's
chorus.
like there's a change at
That's
the
the
last
chorus.
one. I'll read that
Yeah.
too. But so basically, this is where it gets to the socialist revolution.
Mm.
Is all the workers are in the same boat. The workers of the world unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains. That's basically
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
she's saying here. And let's just skip down to the end here. 9 to 5. Yeah, they got you where they want you. There's a better life. You dream about it, don't you? It's a rich man's game, no matter what they call it. And you spend your life putting money in his wallet. True, true. There's a lot of ways in which actually that how a lot of payroll taxes work and a lot of corporate taxes actually end up getting paid by the workers, in that companies will pass off the tax burden to anybody but themselves.
Right.
Like, and this is something
Right.
that only a corporate, well, in this example, a corporation has the power to be afforded, but an individual person doesn't. An individual person that pays an income tax, if they make an under 100K a year, they can't pass off the burden of their tax to anybody else but themselves. They have to pay that tax. That's it. But you could argue that the burden of their tax is passed off in the reduced spending in the economy. But when a company is taxed, when the company is taxed, they'll try to eat the taxes out of employees' wages or the cost of goods, but whatever has the lowest economic impact on their profit. So if it comes down to like wage freezes or wage suppression or hiring lesser workers, whatever it is necessary to make sure that their tax burden is making the most economic sense, it doesn't matter who it negatively hurts, as long as it's not negatively hurting the profits, which primarily go to the people who are in control of the company, but who are not the people who are doing the work that make the profit in the first place. That's basically, modern day socialist philosophy. But yeah, on a great song and like a great related like play thing. I didn't know what is the name of this play anyway?
It's called 9 to 5.
It's called 9 to 5.
It's literally just called 9 to 5. Yeah.
Dolly Parton play. I'll have to
It's
check
a
this out.
good. They made it a movie, so if you don't want to like try to find a play version of it, they have like.
I think watching a play on,
but it's like
recorded on video is like the worst thing ever. It's like anathema.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I could watch like sometimes.
It's just like there's just so much atmosphere in watching a play.
Oh, for sure.
That you miss.
Yes. Yes.
But if that's the only way you can see it, then yeah, it's definitely worth, I think, watching
like
a lot of plays.
If you want to watch something like bootleg off Broadway, like I'm not gonna go to.
And sometimes they do record them really well, where you can at least watch it and
it
have good audio.
Yeah.
Like the videos of like the Beetlejuice play. Oh man, that's a play looks pretty good. I don't know if it's actually good, but the performances are phenomenal.
Does it? I saw I saw like one song from it from like I think a Tony's or something clip.
Yeah, and this is from our libertarian fans, but the two girls in the film, like fucking 12-year-old bangers. I don't think they're actually 12. I think they're like 16 or some shit, but like they are fucking really talented. And if you're a libertarian, really hot.
If you're libertarian,
libertarians are pedophiles.
Because it's just that's the meme. I see the. They just I think they just think that anything should happen to children.
Yeah,
so they should be able to do drugs.
They should do drugs, fucking everything that could happen to anybody at any point in life should be also be able to happen to children.
It's open game, open season.
Speaking of children,
I was gonna say that's a good segue.
What about some children's nursery rhymes? We have this is our viewer call-in for the week.
Yep.
We're gonna watch a video called "There's a Hole in My Bucket, Dear Liza."
Yep.
It's a English nursery rhyme. I've never fucking heard of this.
I have. It sounded kind of familiar, but I don't know it per se. But apparently, this has to do with calculus somehow.
Yeah, so hopefully we can figure that out. I'm
Yeah, I
gonna.
hope we can get to the bottom of it. I'm
Yeah.
at 0.
Well,
I'm
it starts visually. It starts in a well, so we're already at the bottom of it.
Yeah, and it's coming up.
So we're gaining enlightenment. This is
It's
Plato's allegory of the cave here.
playing out. Thank God. Finally.
We just gotta cut our ropes. So I'm gonna. Hopefully the sound is high enough, and then we're just gonna like auditorily react to the video, in hopes of I don't know, something funny happens. Okay, here we go. Oh wait, oh shit. We should count down together. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah, this is a banger. Never mind, this is not a banger.
This is a banger. This gets stuck in my head.
There's a hole in his bucket.
There is a hole in his bucket. It's like that cinema sins bullshit.
Dude,
like,
what is wrong with this fucking dude? His mouth is wide open for that hole. What the fuck? There's a hole in my... Why does he sing like that?
Can you hear it on the pod? Because I feel like I love how it's out of sync.
Dude, their faces are fucking horrifying. What's wrong? I feel like they're baiting like, oh, put your dick in the bucket. Wow, she looks pissed.
Yeah.
She's really pissed. She's like, just put straw in it.
She's like, no, she's mad that he couldn't.
The straw's too long? Okay, now he's trolling, right? Like, just bend it, you retard. Oh, she's really forgiving now because she remembered that her brother was mentally retarded. Oh my god. Use your fingers, idiot!
Or just like, rip it. Just bend it till it breaks.
Wait, what did she get that axe from? Why is it?
It was in the straw.
Really?
I don't. Yes. Oh no.
That's too blunt? Was it smoking weed?
The axe is up blunt. The
axe is weed.
Maybe that's why he's so confused.
He's high as shit.
It's just too high.
Okay, I'm bored of the premise here. With what shall I sharpen it?
He was.
There's a fucking rock behind you.
You get what it is. He was actually using the book as a bong. I don't know how, but he found a way. I guess it's like a gravity bong.
I don't even think regular stone sharpens stuff. Doesn't it have to be... The stone is dry.
Stone.
Spit on it then. Or use your bucket water.
There's a wet stone. That's so funny. Just spit on it.
I feel like this is how Republicans face problems. It's like, they're just like helpless children. And they're like, how can I do anything? And then they like, somebody tells them with this thing, and they're like, but how can I do that with? Like, they're just forever retarded.
It's always like one bonus.
Oh, they finally got to the fucking water.
But there's a...
Oh wait, is this feeding back into itself? Is this like an Ouroboros?
I can't get the water. Yeah, then it's gonna be like, I can't
Wait,
get
but
the
the
water.
hole, there's water in the bucket, the hole isn't at the bottom.
I know, there's like, should be enough to...
Well, she looks like a fucking smug bitch right
pissed.
there. Oh, guys can be bitches too. Oh fuck! Holy shit! This is like genius tier Keikaku.
Funny. It's kind of like
So in the end,
it's like who's on first.
so in the end, they justified the Republican mindset because he was justified in having all these problems.
Yeah.
Because she tried to solve all of his problems.
But it
turned out that it just all cycled back into having a hole in his bucket. Even though the hole was clearly like 3 inches above the bottom, so there clearly was water in there. So he could have put the water on the rock. And so how does this if anything, this relates to like physics, right?
I mean,
because like you have physics of like water leaving the bucket.
I was thinking that's like the calculus of it is like maybe how much water can it hold when there's a hole at a certain place or something.
Yeah, but
I'm stupid. I don't know.
I think that's the closest we can possibly come in figuring out that. Speaking of not figuring shit out, this cop shooting of a 16-year-old with a pizza is fucking confusing.
But like the age confuses me. So yeah. it's hearsay. I mean, yeah, go through it.
So the police say he's 20. It was a 26-year-old suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Because according to this tweet from the Raleigh police, they say that they firearm was found near a 26-year-old suspect. But how did the police know he's the suspect? They know he's a suspect because somebody called in and said he's 26. Like, like in the sequence of events of finding out information, the police aren't any more accurate than anybody else because they're
Right.
going off of what, if anything, less information because they have
Yeah,
just the
because they
words
came
of
in late.
somebody. you
Yeah.
know, I don't know how old he is. It doesn't matter if he's 16 or 26.
No, it's
But it's a
just
little more unfortunate if he's younger because he's had less life to live.
yeah.
So what are some, how is this? I don't understand.
Well, okay, so the story is I guess somebody was allegedly walking around a shopping district flashing their gun, and people were kind of like nervous about that. And then this is where I got kind of confused. So the police showed up, they chased him, shot him, and then like where did the pizza store come in? That's what I don't get from the
I
sequence of
think,
events.
yeah, it's like I think what it goes on the first part, it's
Like he ran.
it's like what the cop's story is. And then I think later on there's like they mentioned like a Facebook live video,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some words of a
Oh, I
woman
see.
who's
Yeah.
like, and I think this is where the pizza came in. She's like, we was at the light and we seen this little boy just running with a pizza. So like somebody nearby, this is what they saw. They saw a little guy running
Yeah.
with pizza.
Yeah.
Maybe he
Yeah.
wasn't even the same person, or maybe he was the
All of,
person that get shot. I don't know.
yeah.
But
Well,
apparently there's protests. The people are protesting about this because it's, anytime somebody in your community gets shot and killed,
you should
pretty
protest.
fucked up.
Kind of say, hey, please don't. What were they chanting?
They're chanting, RPD, Raleigh Police Department is the KKK. So, and what is the killing in the name of those who put, what the fuck is it? I don't know. I gotta look it up.
Are you talking about that song, Killing in the Name of?
Yeah, that's oh fuck, but it's not gonna give me the lyrics. It's gonna give me stupid
Like,
shit. I want the lyrics.
it's a Rage Against the Machine.
Rage. Oh, I gotta go to AZ lyrics. I hate Asian lyrics. It's not actually Asian lyrics. It's just like A to Z lyrics.
Hey, that's not okay. I just go to Genius for everything.
I'm too stupid to go to that website. They're too smart for me.
I'm just smart enough.
Oh, I don't quite understand this lyric actually. Those who died are justified for wearing the badge. They're the chosen whites. So I don't. Are they
Well,
talking about people who the cops killed?
specifically police brutality. So what this person who got 102 upvotes on Rap Genius says, these lines reflect on the representational violence introduced in The Hook, specifically police brutality. Speaking ironically from the killer's perspective, De La Rocha, oh, I didn't know De La Rocha was in Rage, that's interesting, claims murder is justified by wearing a police badge, insinuating that police brutality is no different from any other type of violence. The third line adds racism to the equation, linking back to the verse, the police force is accused of employing too many racist officers that abuse the badge for their racist ideology.
Oh, that's pretty true.
The Chosen Whites connects the contemporary police violence to the historical roots of white supremacy in America, e.g., the KKK, namely the imperial ideology that justified implanting a European society on Native American land and using Africans as slaves to build the wealth of the society. That ideology understood Europeans to be the society chosen by and closest to God to civilize the rest of the world. And
what was this guy's username? Let's give him a shout out.
He doesn't.
He doesn't have what he was
It's
going anonymous.
nameless.
He wrote all that shit and he's anonymous.
I feel
that
like
guy is an American hero.
Yeah.
Let's clap.
Oh, just wait. No.
Oh.
It's his name is Jornam.
Jornam, thank you, Jornam. Thank you.
God bless.
I am I'm in total understanding now. And the last part of this story, I think, is just the best part. The officer's body cam was not on during the 2019 confrontation, but the police department later mandated that the cameras will always be recording. Oh,
I
great.
know.
So,
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for
like,
fucking
so you
stopping.
got the cameras. You did all of the expensive part. You even have them wearing it,
Yeah.
but you don't have an internal department policy
I
on when
f-
they should be recording, and you
well,
don't have one that says that cops, when they're in a moment, need to turn it on.
well,
No,
but doesn't
that's a
well
failure of the department.
earlier? No, see, that's the weird part though, because it says the police chief said the officer who fired and cops were wearing activated body cams and that she was seeking permission to release the footage to the public.
They haven't. The police.
So that's
Wait.
where it's like it
Well,
seems
this is what the
conflicting
police
to me.
chief says. You gonna believe that fucking Nazi?
Well, who was the individual that said that they're gonna put them on
Well,
later?
this is according to Wow. I have no idea. I assume that's a local news
Who that's the
network.
news, but like who said it?
I don't know. It's the news.
The police department later mandated.
It's their Raleigh news, I guess.
It's not. Oh no, dude, you're no. That's in reference to the 2019 shooting
Oh, there's
early.
a different shooting.
Yeah, it was talking about
Oh God, I thought this
how
was the
this
same shooting.
mirrored.
How many people are they killing there?
No, no, didn't you hear me saying? No, it's in the paragraph right before the one you just read. The incident happened earlier, nearly a year after officers shot and killed
Oh, so they bring up this
another
other
individual
one. I
near the
just read the
same
last paragraph. Well,
near the same intersection.
Jesus,
So
this is murder intersection.
that's what I said. I was like, just don't go to that area. Apparently, that's just their stomping ground. That's their killing
If you
grounds.
do anything, you're a minority and you're in that area, cops are gonna blow you away. They're the chosen whites.
So yeah, like that's saying that after the 2019 thing, they're mandating that they leave it on. So
Oh,
now
so this one they had the body cams, but if they didn't kill that other so that minority died. I assume he's a minority.
or he's
So he died so
he
that
was a martyr.
yeah, he's a martyr so
So
that we
yeah,
can get these body cams activated. We
yeah.
paid for them. We got them all set up. Everyone's wearing them, just not turning them on. Okay, I guess now we'll turn them on. We'll show you the
Now
live leaks footage of us just killing black people all day. Like
now we as the citizens had to pay in blood to
yeah,
get that
before like
activated.
the blood price was an invisible price that was only being paid for by black people. But now we get to watch it, and we're gonna be like, whoa, I don't want to. This is disgusting. I don't want to watch black people die all day. Said the white Republican who just found out that like the things that he's been voting for have been killing black people. Like whoa.
I don't want to face what the hell is this? The what word am I looking for? Like the actions? No. Like the causation of my actions.
The well,
What word am I looking
the
for?
leopards ate my face.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
think that's what I'm looking for.
Like I didn't know that this was gonna be the end result of voting
Yeah,
Republicans.
yeah.
I thought that they were good, honest Christians. It's like, have you ever met a police officer? Like,
I
holy
think there are
shit.
like 5. in
Oh,
the whole
speaking
country.
about these privileged whites, these chosen whites, I think it's time for the shit take.
Oh, that's right. God.
And the shit take this week is white privilege is not real. Or is it real? We gotta have the shittiest take about white privilege. So how are you? You want me to go first or?
Go ahead. Yeah, let
Okay.
me formulate here.
So white privilege. What privilege? Actually, you know what? Before I even get into it, let me get into this because I wrote some stuff down here. It's not a privilege. It's a burden. I have to say, this is a shit take. This is not my actual opinion. This is a farcical segment on the podcast. Okay? So if this is out of context, I apologize. Okay. It's not a privilege, it's a burden. White people are the cause of all the good things in society. So because of that, I, as a white person myself, don't feel privileged. I feel burdened because I have immense pressure to be greater than those before me. And those before me were the greatest in the world.
Now you have to
So
uphold
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I need to
Carry
see
that
farther.
cross.
I need to think deeper than all those whiteoids before me. So it's not a privilege; it's a burden.
Wow, it's the classic white man's burden.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's a good take. I mean, uh, so I think white privilege isn't real. Again, this is satire. I feel like we need to have like a sound that's playing in the
Of
background, like a buzzer or something. Just like
something.
whenever you hear the ring, know that what is being said is farcical. It is satire.
Yeah,
And there's like a humming in the back, just
yeah. The humping lets you
uh
know not to take it too seriously.
yeah. I think that white privilege does not exist because white people have had it just as hard as any other race of individuals. When the white man came to America, they had to overcome a lot of trials and tribulations. Uh, I think it was Roanoke was the first.
Yeah, people died.
Yeah, everyone died. No one found it. No one came back alive. Like that was pretty tough. That kind of sucked. You ever think about that, huh?
No, I don't.
And then when they started settling, they were attacked by the people who, I don't know, thought they didn't belong. I don't know, sound familiar? Racists.
Yeah, maybe you're actually changing my opinion here.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
the American Indians were the racists.
I think they truly were. They uh, were the jingoistic war warmongers, warhawks, trying to get rid of just these simple uh, white migrants that were trying to live in a new world, and then they tried getting rid of them. That's pretty not cool, man. Kind of sounds hypocritical, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
So, with that, I present you the evidence for why white privilege actually does not exist, and all lives truly matter,
You know,
especially white lives.
yes, yes, true, true. And also going along with that, we learn at a young age that you should share your toys. The
Mhm.
American Indians, they didn't want to share. They
No,
wanted
no, they did
to
not.
prevent the white people from even ever witnessing their toys, and they wanted to
Yeah,
push them back off into the ocean. But
yeah.
the white man, they never gave up. They wanted to bring civilization to those Americans. There were people that actually like believed this shit. Like
I know
there are
that's
PragerU videos like verbatim saying the shit that I'm saying. Like
that's the
it's
saddest
so
thing.
fucking dumb.
It's
Like
fucked up, man.
oh my gosh.
That's fucking crazy. That shit crazy.
Do you want to know what's even more crazy? Well, not really actually, but this is a mild crazy thing. So this is something I'm passionately against. There are people who, they have very lofty writer positions, and then they use the writer positions to basically write a new character into the story that is essentially themselves, but way fucking cooler.
Yeah.
And their new position in the story is usually the romantic interest for whoever the hottest character is in the story. So
They're just living out their fantasies
yeah, yeah. But
within
like
like
the most pathetic fantasy.
yeah.
Like I can never see myself as a writer and I'm like, "Oh, I'm fucking writing for fucking the Dragon Prince." I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to get into the story and I'm going to start fucking the little 12-year-old girl that's fucking ruler of the one kingdom or whatever." Like,
She
you know,
is it like what game is that? Has three kingdoms.
Three Kingdoms. I'm not sure.
The one with the two families.
Two families? I have no idea what the fuck. Is it a game?
Yeah, it's Nintendo. Uh,
Three. The
it's like a tactics game.
Fire Emblem?
Yes, it's like Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
the lollies are like, no, they're not little girls. They just look like little girls. They're actually 1,000-year-old
Yeah.
dragons.
I do want to state I'm only saying fucking 12-year-olds as a reference to libertarian pedophilia. I don't actually want to fuck 12-year-olds. But this is your no way out. You're the big writer for you've just come into you gotta start the next Avengers series of movies.
Mm-hmm,
And they already have the hottest actress lined up to be like the next Black Widow.
Yes.
And you want to bang her,
Oh, of course.
but you're disgusting.
Also, of course.
Yeah, so you're not gonna bang her.
Mm-hmm.
But you can write in a character who looks like you, but hotter, and he bangs her.
Yes, it's foolproof.
So you bring the script to the the head of the studio, and they had a script already, so you've tweaked some things. You added a new character, and you got to sneak in your OC to fuck this girl that you want to bang. You got to sneak that in without without the head guy of the studio pushing back so far that he nixes all your auditions. So Fauntleroy, thanks for coming in today. I know you've been pretty busy working on the script. What do you got for me?
Of course. Okay, I got and then I hand you the script. Okay, so I'm just gonna walk you through a little bit. So I liked the
Who's this new character you added here?
Yep. We're gonna get to it. That is my new character. His name is Jim Dangler.
That's interesting because your name is Tim Bangler, if I remember correct, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it may sound a little similar, but the Jim Dangler is you remember how it was such a big funny haha hit how Captain America just wouldn't swear?
Yes, that was a great hit, and it brought in a lot of wholesome viewers. Those 65 and up older women.
Everyone loved it. Yes, the Karens of the world just flocked to it. I thought we could double down on that success and introduce a new character who every time somebody swears around him, he gets power. He gets more power, and can in order to fight naughty talk as it's come to be known in his universe.
So he's kind of like from another reality, like that time travel thing we did.
Basically, yeah, which was very ambitious and very good. That was great.
Well, I'm just a little concerned if he's gonna get powered up by naughty talk. Won't we have to have a lot of swear words in the movie? I'm kind of.
It's going to be. Okay, so I was thinking to.
Do you think we can censor it in some kind of funny way?
Yes, to overcome that, there's going to be loud noises like gunshots or like something falls or like.
Okay, that's great. That's hilarious. I love it.
It covers up their mouth like I don't know, it's like a piece of debris falls in front of the individual as they're swearing, but it's a little provocative. We're kind of getting there. And now you're flipping through. So now if you see in the third, I don't know, scene, I guess, Jim.
You wrote in a new sex scene.
Jim Dangler and Black Widow actually form a fairly romantic, intimate relationship, and it culminates into them, getting pretty close.
You really went in depth here in this scene. It's like I'm almost like I can see it right now if I close my eyes, actually.
Right. Yeah.
And a little correction for the trademark. Her name is Blacker Widow, and she's my daughter.
Okay, that's right.
I'm looking at this here, and this. I'm looking up at you, and I'm looking.
Yeah. He's handsome. He's got.
You guys have the same facial hair based on these descriptions.
Yes.
The same stature.
Well, no, his mustache is 2 centimeters, and as you can see, and I pull out a ruler, mine is 3 centimeters long.
Oh, well, it is 3 centimeters.
It is a very stark difference. As you can see, he has dark, closer to black hair. And mine is very dark brown.
Oh.
So it's a very, very sharp contrast. They're pretty much not. I think you're grasping at straws here. I think you're.
Well, I guess if I can be honest, I am just a little concerned that you want to fuck my daughter. That's all.
Well, I don't know where you get that notion. I mean, that's insane. Why would
Well, I mean,
anybody
I want to fuck my daughter.
Well,
I'm a Hollywood
I
pedophile.
yeah, I know I do too, but like you don't say it out loud.
Oh shit!
You
I'm so
you
glad we're
said
not
the ins-
recording this meeting
you
between
said
us.
you said the inside part out loud. This is one of the things that got our boy Weinstein. So you need to like you need to chill, dude. This is the heat's on a little bit.
You know,
Hollywood
I think
pedophilia.
these are some great changes. My daughter's really gonna enjoy her first sex scene,
I am too.
and I shake your hand.
Shake, shake.
Oh yeah, I don't know how to make a shake hand noise. Okay, that was great.
Oh, that was
Have
rough
you
one.
ever like watched who's the Jay and Silent Bob guy? Who's the director?
Oh,
I forget his name. He's like a fat dude. He wears
not
jorts.
Jace,
Kevin
Kevin
Smith.
Smith. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever watched him talk about like his meetings with like Hollywood execs and shit?
No.
It's like
He's a
basically what
pretty
we did, but like
yeah
less smart.
on the nose.
Yeah, it's not as on the nose. Yeah, it's not as on the nose, but it's like they're fucking dumb and crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really fucking funny.
I mean, if you see like big schlock movies, like
Yeah, I mean when you're making such like a big old tentpole production, you just gotta like guide as much as you can in terms of like managing the financial interests, which is like basically like keeping everybody in check of like our goal here is to make money. Because like you have all these artists that you're trying to
yeah,
make financially solvent or whatever the word is.
yeah, yeah.
Well, that was a great No Way Out, I think. And do we
I
have
think that's
anything to leave our
we're
viewers
up.
with?
Yeah, we're up in space still. That's still
Yeah, we're
happening.
floating around. Yep, don't forget about that.
Yeah, we can.
Floating around. Oh boy. Oh man, look there
Ooh,
goes fucking Pluto.
zero G.
Oh, fuck, boobs in space.
Oh, boobs sound like right.
Yeah, I think that's a verbatim what they sound like.
That was a recording. I'm glad you said it was because I would have called you very mean names.
Oh, it was a recording. I thought
Yeah, that
you
was a
were
recording
actually
I
doing that to some
played.
boobs in space. You found
I found space.
you found a transmitted corpse from
I
Earth.
found, yep, yep. We 3D printed
Corpses.
a corpse. Yeah,
Awesome. To a motorboat.
yeah. Space titties with two D's.
And then with that, we ended
We
space
out.
titties with 2D.